We don't get many Sandmen. I think we've only had one other since I've been here.
I like to move it. I like to move it. And how else would I have gotten Razor Fist sunglasses? I stole them from her mum while she was sleeping. I like to move it. I like to move it.
Jason King on Kung Fu Hot Dog. Your face, your ass, what's the difference?
And ladies and gentlemen, before I get on with today's video, I want to say a big thank you to each and every one of you who resubscribed, because I put a post on my channel asking people just to do that, just to see what would actually happen. And guess what? Happened, it certainly is. The Happening by Diana Ross and the Supremes, or if you're crustacean, the Suprawns. So honestly, thank you very much. I know YouTube does this little thing where they pretend that robotic accounts have signed up to you, Mr. Kung Fu. Nothing to do with us. We plead innocence, but guess what? I guess the tide is very slowly turning. Don't want to get cocky, don't want to get cocksure, that's for sure, because we know where that could end up. Maybe me being washed up on the beach somewhere in Omaha. But enough of that, folks. Let's talk about Randy Pitchford, or as I like to call him, Bitchford, because he really is. He might be a devil in disguise. He might be a magician, but not as good as Bill Bixby, who played the lead role back in the day. He's a snake oil salesman, and I don't mean that as a compliment. He really is. Randy Pitchford is the guy who, a few years ago, was in the restaurant and had a thumb drive lying around, which had some very questionable content on there, if you know what I mean. And if memory serves me correct, he didn't deny what was on the actual thumb drive, but was just defending the fact that, hey, I've got this performer on here, they're above age, blah, blah, blah. Whenever anybody says, oh yeah, you know, we've got this actress in our specialized film and she's above the required age, dude, like, why are you jumping in there and that's the first thing you throw out? So no one's accusing you of anything else, but if you want to bring this to the forefront, or in Randy Pitchford's case, the foreskin, then what else are you going to expect? But Borderlands 4, this much anticipated video game that's coming out, I believe in September, it's stirred a lot of controversy in the last few days. Now, what am I talking about? Yes, I am a bit late to the party on this one because I wasn't sure if I should just jump in and do a video. And now, ladies and gentlemen, while this particular clip has nothing to do with the video whatsoever, I just wanted to indulge you with the lovely delights of Jenny Agutter and Farrah Fawcett in the 1976 classic Logan's Run. Haven't got it on Blu-ray? Well, go out there and get it so you can slather and slither of these fine 1970s beauties. Well, this is in response to Randy Pitchford had this exchange on Twitter with a Borderlands fan, and all the fan asked was, Randy, you've got the power, you're the CEO of Gearbox, to make this a $70 game on its release. So again, the way this fan pitched their concerns, again, it might have come as a little bit aggressive because the fan is saying, you better not be charging $80, Randy Pitchford. Now, obviously, Randy's a man of a certain generation, a certain time. He probably misread that as being a little bit aggressive, and hence why his response was, at my local game store, Starflight was on sale for the Sega Genesis at $80 in 1991. When I just walked out of high school, working minimum wage at Pismo Beach for an ice cream parlor, and he was able to buy the game eventually. But that's still you're talking about, Randy, 1991 compared to what it is now. So the cost of living has gone up for everybody around the world. So what's your case there, bro? Why are you putting this fan down? A fan has played every single Borderlands game. By the way, let's just switching screens very quickly, folks, because I got to talk about this. I mean, the Borderlands 4 trailer was nice, but some of the character designs are horrific.
Getting natural disaster.
DEI representation in there, haven't they, folks? Because they just had to do that. Just like Formula One with Brad Pitt, they had to throw that thing in there too. But I guess in the case of that movie, it will work okay. I won't really mind too much because I'm going to see that film for racing cars and Brad Pitt. Sadly, no grid girls, because that would have really been the icing on the cake. But I guess it's politically incorrect to even have them featured in a manly sport like F1. But back to this, folks, because honestly, I think this is absolutely hilarious. Now, if you look at the Steam DB charts, folks, it's number 8 on the wish lists. That's Borderlands 4. So people still are quietly anticipating this video game to drop in September. But what's even more hilarious is that now all the previous Borderlands games are being mass review bombed, or bummed as I like to call it, in the most negative way. It's the best way to deal with tomfoolery, folks. Whether it's video games and movies and TV shows, just throw ridicule in their face, because honestly, they won't be able to handle it. And I think that's absolutely funny. Now, what Randy says here is, A, it's not my call. B, if you're a real fan, you'll find a way to make it happen. Now, all this pressure has gotten to Randy, and it's not the first time this guy has seen himself mired in controversy. There was that thing with Kevin Hart a couple of years ago for the ill-fated live-action version of Borderlands.
No problem. I'm going back in here in the weight room.
I'll see you later.
I got a weight room in here. Just rolling lifts weights.
Again, I don't think Kevin Hart is that funny a comedian, but I know he's got millions of fans around the world. And no, it's not because he's black. It's because he's just not funny. He's not Richard Pryor. That's how I'm comparing them. But honestly, man, this is absolutely hysterical. And again, someone's done a handsome Jack from Borderlands through AI, making out that Randy's apologizing for that particular instance where he berated the fan. You know, this is the thing, right? Companies always hate the fans. Me, you know, I love Uncharted. I like other things, but I'm not going to get an acknowledgement, am I? Why would I? Because I'm a nobody sat in his room making these silly videos for you. But look at this picture of Randy Pitchford. I mean, it just looks embarrassing. I mean, I know he's doing it for comical value, and gotta say, the long hair kind of suits him, but it makes him look more like a doofus. He kind of reminds me of Randy Quaid, right, from Kingpin. He kind of looks a lot like him, which is, I don't know if that was intentional, but bloody hell, man, that's funny as hell. He's just getting roasted over the coals. But let me just have a look at Steam. Latest terms of service makes it a no-no. This is posted on the 23rd of May, by the way, folks. Recommended, not recommended. The update to the TOS essentially makes this game malware and all the other Borderlands games. Spyware disguised as a game. This is Borderlands 3. Holy shit, gaming industry. New user agreement, or EULA, is the reason why my dislike of the game. That's pretty funny, actually. Holy shit. All because Randy Pitchford just dissed the fan by saying, hey, if you're a super fan of Borderlands, you too can find a way to make it happen. Honestly, he sounds like a cornball salesman from the 1950s trying to sell dog shit to a housewife. Honestly, it's really, really funny. And I reckon when the game does come out, it will be $80. Unless something happens in between, like maybe they might even drop the price to $70, but there might be a catch. When you buy the game, it won't be on the disc. There'll be 125 megabytes like it was with Doom, the Dark Ages. Then you're expected to download the game. So in that case, why don't you just download the game from Steam or your other preferred choice of playing the video game? See what I mean? I think something like that might actually happen. And if it does, yours truly told you that in the first place. But if you ended up enjoying this video today, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you give it a like below. Smash that subscribe button like this. And I'll catch you catching me for the return of my next video. Yes, Mrs. Raise the Fist, I'm coming back to give you your glasses.
Seriously? This is what we're doing? What the f*** is a Wing Chun?
In the ass end of space, even aliens watch Jason King on Kung Fu Hot Dog. Duke Nukem approves this guy.